What's good, guys? Derrick here from DaseDesigns.com. In today's video, I want to bring out something different and give you guys my top 5 steps for how you can get clients and sell your logos. Let's get straight to the video. Alright guys, so step number 1 has to be creating awesome stuff. So of course, when you guys are first getting started, it's going to be hard to do. You're going to look at other people and be like, man, their stuff is so awesome. I want to get to where they are. The best thing to do is to study their work, practice, and be consistently doing that all of the time. So right now I'm on my Instagram page, as you guys can see. You know, when I first started on Instagram, it was, just a bunch of BS, and then I kind of got into graphic design contests, and then I just kind of explored a little bit, like a short exploration phase. Focus on creating awesome stuff. That's like the most important thing aside from the next step. So making sure your work is as best as it can possibly be. So here's a logo that the very first mascot logo I ever made was this very basic generic Spartans logo. It wasn't complete trash, but it wasn't that great. It's very generic, very boring. No one ever bought it, believe it or not. It's very easy for me to understand now, but yeah, like you really just got to start somewhere and then just to continue to build and put your stuff out there. So a few ways for creating awesome stuff. Again, I'm going to scroll back to the top of my Instagram page is creating stuff for people, right? So like trending topics. Fortnite right now is kind of trending. So here's a logo that I did around Fortnite. Got 1,000 likes. I got a decent amount of followers on Instagram right now, but it did a lot better than most of my posts. For example, like this one, I think this is a super fire skull logo design. It only got like 500 or 600, I guess you could say. And this one got twice that. My understanding for why is because more people could relate to it, and I used the proper hashtag. So I created something around a trending topic or something that was big at the moment. Again, Fortnite. And I did the same thing again for the Raven logo, and I did the same thing again for the Reaper character from Fortnite. I created a mascot logo around it. So creating something awesome. This was me creating something awesome around a trending topic. That kind of helped boost my social media awareness because it's already it's kind of like attaching my name and my work to something that's already trending. So then maybe I can become trending by attaching my name, myself, my work to it, and that can help kind of build your portfolio or build your following and your audience faster. And I've gotten a lot of inquiries about like people wanting to buy these specific logos, and then people wanting their own based around that kind of style. So just by creating something awesome, clients we're coming in based upon that. All right, guys, so another thing that you can do is create awesome stuff for other people. So, it's great to create stuff that you like and you enjoy. That's kind of what I meant before, just creating things that you think are awesome that, kind of fit with your personality and stuff like that. And then people will tend to gravitate towards that kind of have a similar personality or just enjoy what they see. Another thing you can do is creating awesome stuff for someone specifically, not necessarily that they hire you for, but just creating something just because you want to, you look up to that person. So I'm on my Instagram page, John Bellion, super dope artist. He's worked with Logic and he's written songs for Rihanna. Most of you guys probably don't know who the heck he is, but I created this artwork for him a while back, with kind of like this whole mascot style that I use, right? But yeah, anyways, I thought it was super dope. I created it for him, so to speak. And I posted it on social media, and then it got like 600 likes. So my average at the time was about 3. You can see 297, 237, 300, 226, 318, 660. So this one did very good, so to speak. It did twice as good as usual. It also got shared by some good Instagram accounts, so it got some decent shares and stuff like that. And then one thing that actually happened was I actually had a few different people reach out to me because they wanted me to create something like this for them. Like one chick asked me for like album artwork, with this similar kind of style, and then another chick asked for just general artwork. I think it was for like envelopes or something like that. I can't really remember, and I didn't work with them. But the point is, just by creating something awesome that I thought was awesome, I created it for someone. Even though they didn't use it, I still got clients if I actually kind of wanted them and wanted to kind of like take them on. But the point is, just creating awesome stuff for other people that you kind of look up to. Again, John Bellion, he's a well-known artist. He's a dope musician, dope music artist as well, or in general. So by me creating something for him, just kind of, put us two together, I guess you could say, in social media, and then just kind of boosted my post a little bit, I guess you could say. And because it was so dope, you know, not to toot my own horn, you know, so it got shared, and then people asked me if they could get the same thing done for them. So doing stuff like this can also help create something awesome. Also counts as that. It's just another great way to do, and I highly recommend it. It's something I see going down a lot on Twitter, especially with logo designers that are just getting into it. They'll make, you know, letter marks and icons and symbols for like big, you know, YouTubers they look up to, or other designers they look up to, people in phase, whatever, right? You know, so just doing stuff like this can be super helpful. So on to the next step. All right, guys. So for step number 2, it has to be share it as much as you can. Like these very first 2 tips that I'm giving you guys that you know, I kind of realized after reading Aaron Draplin's book. Like the main thing he said, create awesome stuff and then just share it. Like things will come if you can consistently do that. And it's completely true, and that's what I've done ever since the beginning. You know, that's all kind of where it started, and that's, if I'm going to my Instagram page right now, again, back to the very beginning. Yeah, here's kind of like the mascot phase I was in, and then I was just, you know, just trying to create awesome stuff. Right now, I got a few logos that I did in the past. This was kind of like a logo exploration. You'll see a bunch of D's. I wanted to create a logo for myself. I didn't know what it should be, so I had a bunch of sketches, and I was just like, screw it. I'm just gonna share all of them and see what happens. So as you guys can see, I started here and I was like, decided to post some logo explorations for the letter D and S. Been working on my personal branding identity. Now still exploring. Also attempt of using a bit of the golden ratio. So yeah, I started posting that, and then I consistently posted that. And this was, okay, so you have July 19th, July 20th, July 21st, the 21st again. This was probably the 22nd. Yeah, so I did these consistently for about a week or so, something like that, right? And then, you know, I started to get a lot of attention. The likes didn't really go anywhere. I didn't really get any inquiries, but people really, like I was getting followers. People were telling me they really liked, you know, they liked seeing my exploration process. So again, just sharing things. It doesn't have to be the end result. It can be the process. Like one thing that Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, shouts to him on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere. You know, he says, you know, he recommends documenting, not so much just sharing. That's something I've been slacking and lacking in personally, but documenting your process. And that's kind of what I did right here. And that was, you know, one point of my Instagram, you know, growth. And I remember people actually telling me they enjoyed following that process. And it was, again, simply documentation for the most part. Again, like I said, share it as much as you can. A few great like websites or apps would be Instagram, as you guys can see. You know, just sharing that. And then Twitter is another great one. I'm not really consistent on Twitter, if I'm being honest. This is a little different. And then also there's places like YouTube. So if I go to like my YouTube channel, and then I also have a website as well. So, you know, just sharing as much as you can. You know, so with regards to sharing it as much as you can, and one thing I recommend doing, I kind of mentioned, you know, Gary talks about documenting. So you can kind of do that, documenting whatever. It doesn't really matter. Another thing is just try to create some content around it. So as I mentioned, the Fortnite logo, the first one, the one that I showed you guys mainly was the Rex logo, somewhere around here. So yeah, here's the Rex logo. If we go to my YouTube, I also have a YouTube video. So here's another form of sharing it. I wish I could ignore that right now. But yeah, so anyways, I created a speed art video, and that was another way of sharing it and showcasing it. And as you guys can guess, more inquiries came from YouTube. So I created a speed art, I recorded it, you know, I posted it on Instagram, I posted it on YouTube, and I also posted it on Twitter. You know, so it's literally the same picture from Instagram. Sometimes it's really good to switch it up just in case people follow you everywhere. Another example is, you know, I recently released my logo course. So during the logo course, we're going to be building a, what's it called? Like a presentation. This is the presentation. So I was like, how can I create some content to kind of share this? I can just share the content that I made in the course. And you know, it's already got like 400 views, 50 likes, whatever. I've already got a little following on Behance, so that's pretty much why. But as you guys can see, I created content around another piece of content. I created a big presentation. That's what we're going to be doing in the course. So I just shared it, right? I created something awesome, or at least that I feel like is pretty awesome. And then I shared it on social media. I shared it on Behance with the presentation. I shared it on Twitter with a few pictures. Like this was one of the presentation pictures, the images that I created in the course. Here's another one. I also shared that. And then I created a little picture that tells you what to do to see the rest of it. You know, so just creating content around pre-existing content can be another great way to share more content, get more eyes and more views, more followers, and again, more clients, more people asking how they can be your next client. All right, guys, so step number 3 is being consistent. One thing that I've really noticed, like on my YouTube channel, is what happens when I'm not consistent. So, you know, from being inconsistent and inconsistently posting. So as you guys can see, I have roughly 15,000 subscribers. You'll notice on my last video, I got 2,000 views. You may be wondering, how is that possible? That's because I'm inconsistent. People will subscribe months ago, and if I don't post for a few months, they completely forget about my content, and maybe they create another account and they don't even watch my videos anymore because I wasn't there to continue to attract their attention and give them something to look at. If you're inconsistent, you can't expect consistent progress, consistent success, consistent sales, consistent clients, consistent anything. So you really have to be consistent. So that leads to building a consistent portfolio. So if we go to YouTube, as you guys are not YouTube, just left from there. So if we go back to Instagram, so here's another little phase I went through. I just wanted to create a project of like desserts. So yeah, it was like desserts anybody. That was my kind of idea. And these were super fun to create because I love colors like pink and all this stuff. These were super dope. And I was experimenting with like stuff. The quality isn't that great looking at it right now. But yeah, so anyways, I was consistently posting these and people would follow me, like some girls and stuff like that, I guess because they love the color pink. And like, who doesn't love, like, you know, chocolate chip cookies, donuts, all this cool stuff. This was when I was just really trying to explore with illustration, not so much mascot logos. But yeah, I was posting these consistently. That was September 7, September 8, September 9, September 10, 11, and I'm gonna assume 12. Oh, 13. So I skipped a day. It's probably because it was a weekend or something. I don't really know. But yeah, so again, I was consistent. This is a very small burst, but you know, I gained following from that specific people that like that kind of topic, you know, these kind of colors, you know, desserts, illustration, all that kind of stuff. I gained a few followers here and there. I didn't, again, gain any clients, but the point is that is going to build it all up in due time. So building a consistent portfolio is extremely important because when they go to your portfolio and they scroll down, they see a bunch of fire, they know what they can hire you for, or they're gonna want you to make something fire for them. Like if you look at it now, it's just straight up fire. Like I'm not tooting my own horn, but it is what it is, right? So yeah, being consistent. Like if I had like maybe like a week of trash designs, or they just weren't that great, or they were just completely left field, it made no sense. Like that's gonna deter, I don't know, it's gonna move people away from me. Like if you post something awesome one day and you never post it again, like that's not good. You really need to be consistent so you can build yourself as kind of like a leader in that industry, that topic, that whatever, you know. So being consistent, making sure you're sharing, you know, your best stuff consistently. So you'll notice my Behance portfolio is a lot smaller per se. I've only gotten a few projects in comparison to my Instagram has 321 posts. This one's got like, I don't know, 12 or something, right? So for my Behance portfolio, I really wanted to boil it down to my favorite or my best in the eyes of my audience. Is more so personally. When people come from here, I know exactly what they're looking for. And again, when they see this, they see nothing but fire, at least in my eyes, right? So this is where a lot of clients have come from, you know, Behance and stuff like that. So especially when you do this on any social media platform, they really, it builds a sense of trust. You know, they don't really have a problem trusting you because, you know, they see that you're consistently doing your thing. If you do that, you're going to build your audience and people are going to start wanting to hire you. Then it's just a matter of things that I'll get to in a minute. You know, so guys, be sure to be consistent. If you post something 1 week and then don't post anything for the next 3 months and you send me a message and say it's not working, it's because you are not working. You are not working. Make sure you're working. Make sure you're putting in hard work and you're being consistent. And that's another super important tip. Now we're going to get to tip number 4. All right, guys. So for tip number 4, this has to be keeping things professional. So this one may be kind of obvious, but I feel like if you're younger, it might not be obvious at all. You probably don't care. You're probably like IDGAF, right? This is my social media profile. I'm going to do whatever the heck I want to do with it. But at the same time, that's the wrong, in my opinion, not the best approach to do. All right, so how to present yourself professionally or how to keep things professional. So I'll give you an example on what not to do. So just very quickly, you'll notice my social media banner here on Twitter is like, it shows my website, my logo, Twitter, Instagram. My bio says what I do or what at least I'm interested in. Logos, art, music. And then there's also a link to my portfolio, tells you where I'm from, my website, blah, 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 right? Just basic, professional, presentable information. The thing that you shouldn't be doing here is like putting negative things here, like maybe, just some, I don't know, just like some BS, just like some dumb things, like whether it's negativity, whether you're calling someone out, or if it's like, I don't work for free or whatever. Like, just keep things on a need to know basis. It's like they don't need to know all that. They can learn that from you when they speak through a conversation, whether they call you, they can talk to you on WhatsApp, Skype, Discord, whatever. So just keep it basic and keep it professional. You can put add more personality or whatever, but just try to avoid negativity and things like that. So, all right. So another way to keep things professional is by making sure your process is professional. Maybe you have clients or prospects, people who want to hire you that you're speaking with, but you just can't get them to give you your money, so to speak. I hate putting it that way, but that's the only way I know how to say it. So maybe you're not professional enough. So one way to do that is by using contracts or invoices. Maybe the word contract is a bit scary to you if you're just starting out. That's cool. I felt the same way. Now it's like nothing. A great place to start is by PayPal. Most people use PayPal or Stripe. I started out with PayPal. So anyways, as you guys can see, we got invoices right here. Most people a lot of the times a client or prospect will be like, yo, what's up? What's your email? What's your PayPal email? Send that to me. I'll just send you a payment. That's cool. If it's like $20, you don't really care about it. But if they charge it back and they take their money back, you're going to be mad. That happened to me a while ago. So one potential way that you can kind of help prevent chargebacks, so if someone hires you for something, they pay you, and then maybe a month later they get their money, they try to get their money back. One way you can kind of help prevent that is, again, by using an invoice on PayPal. So as you guys can see, I got my logo here. This is just a logo I made, when I very first started, and I just have it here. So that, again, makes it look that much more professional because I got my logo here, right? And then, typing everything down, just putting the basic details. So the easiest way to start it is by the designers being hired by the client to craft whatever for whatever. And, you put your amount, your quantity, your price, whatever. And then you put the deliverables, the deliverables that you're going to be sending them. So for me, for logos, that'd be vector files, AI, PDF, EPS, PNG image files, transparent backgrounds. And then also like an ownership or copyright transfer. And then also touch on the process. I usually use a 3-step design process. Here's a basic 4 to 7 days for kind of like a basic mascot logo project. So I do an ETA, and then these are things that I talk to them ahead of time before I even send this to them. So they already know all of these details. I just put them in there just so they can see them. And in the case there a chargeback or anything like that happens, hopefully it doesn't. Again, all of these details have been in there, and then PayPal or whoever will be resolving the issue can see everything that we went over. Anyways, that's just super duper basic. Again, I'm not a lawyer. These are just my personal opinions from personal experience. But this is another great way to provide comfort and make them feel comfortable. If your client isn't comfortable, or your prospect, they're not going to hire you. If they don't believe in your work, if they don't think you're good enough and your prices don't match, they're not going to hire you. All of these things are just very small variables that kind of add up. Creating an invoice or contract is great. I'll just leave it in invoices for this video. But yeah, so another way is by, as I mentioned, talking to them about the process. Communication is super important. If I go to my website, like this kind of one thing I talked about when I very first started this website is customer support is something we truly value. I enjoy listening to your ideas, goals, whatever. We provide updates and support to ensure that your needs are being met. And that's something I've done with every single logo project. And, that's to make them feel comfortable, because it can, if someone's paying you $500,000, $15,000, $2,000, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, they're going to want to feel safe. They got to be able to trust you, or it's not going to work. So, by using this step-by-step process, I personally like it a lot, because it relieves some worry in my mind if there's ever any worry that I'm not sure if I can do, or if I can create what they're going to like and want to use for months, years on end. So that's kind of why I use this step-by-step process. And again, it also makes them feel more comfortable knowing that I'm going to be updating them. They're not just going to pay me and they're not going to hear anything from me for the next month or 2 months. It's people who have more followers on me than Twitter, and then people have gone from them to contacting me because they paid them, and then they didn't hear anything for a month, and then they're just giving excuses on, oh, I'm busy. Like, this is me showing my clients that I'm committed to the project. You know, they're getting consistent updates. So stuff like this, it leads on to being more professional. Like, I take it serious when I take a project, you know, like I'm committed to it. Like, I literally mean that. That's why I use the process, so they know it is what it is when we get started, so they know what to expect. All right, so lastly, we're gonna go over if all else fails. So a few things that you can do, and then one of the main things to focus on. So I feel like most people, myself included, feel like sometimes things need to happen, or they're supposed to happen faster than they should. Maybe because it happened, or you believe it happened, or from what you've seen, it happened faster to someone else, so you're supposed to get that same result. Like, it took them 1 month. It's supposed to take you 1 month too, or me 1 month. It's like, it usually does not work that way at all. So like, I'm on my Instagram page right now, and then again, as I kind of touched on, like my first mascot logo, I posted this in 2015 of 26, or May 26th of 2015. So it's been a few years since then, and then, you know, obviously I've grown tremendously. So you know, before I made this first logo, you'll notice that the logo is nothing, it's nowhere near as good as what a logo that I create now. So here's a Spartan logo I made, and then I recently posted one. Let's see if I can go through these really quickly, and bam. So this one is like 30, 40, 50 times better than the one I just showed you guys. So this is years later. This is years of practice, years of studying. I mean, like literally studying what I wanted to learn with every single time I took on a project or even created a logo. I would always study what I wanted to do, study kind of like the end result I was striving for, and then I would practice and strive for that. While doing that, you're gonna get better, and like, you really have to be patient. Like, it's been a few years for me, and you know, that was me creating logos basically almost every other day and things like that, and then, you know, still studying and stuff like that. But at the same time, most people don't understand that I have a background in art or just drawing or whatever. Like, if we just scrolled through my Instagram page when it very first started, like, I was already artistic. I could already draw kind of what I wanted to draw. Like, this was just a random character I created in my mind. As you can see, he had like a snowboarding goggles on his head, like a one-eyed character. Kind of reminds me of that one movie, like the devil who's got his horns cut off, but he's actually a good guy or whatever. That was kind of like inspiration in my mind for like his skin or whatever. But as you guys can see, it's kind of cool. Like, I mean, his nose looks really ugly now, but you know, like, I still had an artistic background. But the point is, even with that, it still took me time to learn how to create this mascot logo style or create logos. So if all else fails, maybe you just need to be more patient. You need to continue working. Allow yourself more time to get better and build that skill, because even with my art background, when I created the first mascot logo, it wasn't that great and no one bought it. Like, still to this day, I don't know why anybody would. It wasn't that great. You know, like, if it's not that great, then try not to expect so much if you're starting first. If you're just starting out, especially if you've never had any, or you don't have much of a background in art, illustration, or selling anything or whatever, you know, just really being patient with yourself. Like, if all else fails, just be patient. Keep going if it's not working, because as time progresses, it's gonna work. Like, no one bought this. The people I've tried to make this for, they didn't like it. I didn't even get a response back, right? Like, the people I made this for, they liked it, they thought it was dope, and so did I. Same thing for this one, same thing for this one right here. And then I think someone bought this one right here, but no one bought this one here. Like, I sold like maybe 10 logos in the span of since I made this one right here, the Spartan logo, until I got to this one, but no one bought this logo right here. It wasn't that great, you know, like, it is what it is. No one liked it, I guess, and it didn't, enough eyes weren't on it, you know. So just being patient sometimes is really super important. All right, guys, so another thing that you can actually try to do is actually reaching out to people on your own. My kind of strategy, quote unquote, for like social media is like putting myself out there, my content, in hopes that people come to me so I can keep the leverage, so I'm not begging them for money, so to speak. You know, I feel like when you kind of go to people, and then you want to work with them, more likely you want to work for them, and you want them to pay you something, it's almost as if you're going to them asking them for money. That seems kind of a bit beggy, in my opinion, and you really just kind of lose leverage. You just kind of lose power because you're kind of at their mercy. So when I kind of put out logos on your own, or if you just create something out of just generosity, or just out of fun, you're just like creating it out of enjoyment, you're more so in control, and you know, I just find that method to be my favorite, just from my own experience. I'm not some millionaire. I don't have crazy experience out the yin yang, but I'm just saying, you know, like, that's kind of my preferred method. But when you're first starting out, it can be great to just create things for people. And like, for example, you could just type in like logo design, like on Twitter, for example, like logo design. And then I'm sure you may find someone who's in need of a logo design. Let's see if I can find something. So it says, looking for Mumbai-based illustrators to design a logo. Please help a sister out. Retweet also if you feel like it. So if I was in Mumbai and I wanted to work with her, then I would reach out to her. You know, sometimes you might just need to do the reaching out on your own. And this can be a great way to build a portfolio. Or if you have one and you're just not getting any people coming to you, maybe you should start going to them. So that's something you can do on Instagram, something you can do on Twitter. You know, a lot of people post stuff like this on Twitter. People will be like, I'm willing to pay or whatever, you know, like, just look for it. Another thing is there are things like logo design contests. So I'm just going to type this in. So a few great websites would be like Design Crowd, Design Hill, 99 Designs. I've used all of these personally. I've won a few times. I've entered in more contests than I've actually won. Contests can be really helpful if you don't have a portfolio and you're trying to build one, and you know, you just kind of want a level playing field. And you just want an opportunity, right? You just want to work with people. It can be great. You know, you put your designs in and then they'll pick you if they like it, and then you can kind of work with them. One thing that I kind of found is that the communication process usually isn't that great. Like I mentioned with my 3-step design process, communication is key for my own projects and for my own experience, but they can be helpful. I have won some contests where they've been more beneficial fiscally than like clients who've reached out to me. So that's something you guys can also try. And then again, kind of like I mentioned earlier, it's just like creating awesome stuff and then just sharing it, you know, whether it's creating something for someone that you like or look up to. Maybe it's an artist they can be dead or alive, whatever. All these things, that kind of lot falls under if all else fails as well. Like if you're not getting any clients, then just post something that you just enjoy more. And then if you're better at that, then I feel like clients will most likely come, that, you know, the percentage of them coming for that will be much higher. So, you know, just continue to try. Continue to be patient, and I'm sure things will actually work out for you guys if you are consistently doing these things. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much for the end of this video. Those are my 5 steps for how to get clients and then how to sell your logo designs. The last thing I wanted to mention is if you guys have any of your own tips or any of your own steps or things from your own experience, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear more from you guys, and I'm sure some of the other people watching the video would like to hear your experiences as well. Lastly, I wanted to mention my logo course has officially released for all of you guys who have been following me on Instagram and know what's up. All you guys got to do is click the link in my description for those of you who are interested in signing up, and you can see more there. And then that's pretty much it. I'm going to end the video with the course trailer, guys. Again, it's Derrick here from DaseDesigns.com, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace. What's up, guys? Welcome to our eSports logo course brought to you by DaseDesigns.com and Logo Inspirations. My name is Derrick, and I'm going to be your instructor. Through hours of content, we're going to be teaching you guys how to create professional eSports mascot logos and identity designs alike. We're going to be starting with the basic keys of sketching and also show you guys how to gather information from your clients to craft a set of project goals. Then we're going to be moving on to the full mascot logo design process, and we're not just stopping there. We're also going to be going over identity designs, and this includes jersey designs, social media concepts, and also apparel designs. And finally, we're going to gather everything together to create a professional presentation project, not only to attract clients, but also to inspire and build an audience. If you've been wanting to learn how to create professional esports mascot logos, then this course is the course for you. Again, my name is Derrick, and I'll see you all on the inside.